welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So as we have now had one full month of championship action, I thought that now would be a good time for me to go ahead and give you guys my August championship team of the month for who I think have been the best starting 11 of players so far. Technically we do have one more game going on in August, that being the Friday night kickoff between Leeds United and Middlesbrough, but I'm not going to include that in this video as we got a pretty good idea of who started the season well. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be giving you my starting 11, and I'd be interested to know from you guys who would make it into your championship August team of the month and who from your club has impressed you most so far. Also, before we go ahead and get into my starting 11, guys, I'd be interested to know what you made of your team's performance in the EFL Cup last night. We've also got some games going on tonight which do involve some championship clubs. My team, Preston North End, managed to go ahead and walk away with a 2-0 away victory at Ellen Road, where Ryan Ledson went in with this tackle, and rightly so, he got a red card, but we still managed to go ahead and hold on with 10 men with the 2-0 away victory. Leeds fans, let me know down below what you made of that one, and it really was two B teams going up against each other, but does that give you a bit of concern perhaps about your squad depth going into this season? Also, we saw Aston Villa go ahead and lose 1-0 to Burton Albion. We also had some other good scores. Blackburn won 4-1, Derby won 4-0. But now, guys, we will move on into my championship team of the month. So if you would like to see this become a regular series on the channel, make sure to leave a like on the video. So first of all, we'll go ahead and hop into some honourable mentions and the people who are going to be making it onto the bench of this team, who just didn't quite make it into the starting 11. And some of these players are very unlucky not to be making it in. First of all, we've got Josh McGuinness coming in from Bolton Wanderers. So far popped up with a couple of match wins for them. Been a very good signing since he's arrived at Bolton and gives them that clinical edge going forward. Judge Friend from Middlesbrough also makes it onto the bench. Quite unlucky not to be making it into this starting 11. So far, Middlesbrough have the best defensive record in the championship, and Judge Friend's been someone who's stood out to me so far. Defensively, Blackburn Rovers have also been very good, and coming in on the bench, we are going to have Charlie Mulgrew, already popping up with 2 goals as well, scoring 2 penalties so far this season. But Blackburn's defensive record has a lot to owe to Charlie Mulgrew. He's really impressed me with the step up he's made to the championship so far, and Blackburn, rightly so, found themselves in the playoffs at the moment. Ollie McBurney of Swansea is going to make it onto the bench as well, scoring 3 goals in 5 appearances in August so far. Been a good player for Swansea, someone that I'd really like to see more of this season as well. Last season with Barnsley on loan, they're managing to score 9 goals in the championship, and if given a full run as Swansea's main player this season, I think he really can go on to have an excellent season. His standout performance so far coming in that home game against Leeds United, where he popped up with 2 goals in that game. Ollie Watkins from Brentford is going to make it onto the bench. Brentford going forward so far have looked absolutely superb, already going ahead and scoring 10 goals in the championship. Ollie Watkins has been the main contributor to that as well, scoring 3 goals and picking up 1 assist, and he's quite unlucky not to be making it into the starting 11. Also going to have West Brom winger Matty Phillips making it onto the bench as well. Been quite a good asset for them so far. Harvey Barnes also unlucky to be missing out on this team. Jay Rodriguez as well. West Brom so far have scored a lot of goals going forward, and they've got some good options. Then our final player coming onto the bench is going to be Braithwaite from Middlesbrough. So far the partnership that he and Assombalonga have had going forward for Middlesbrough has been absolutely exceptional. One of the main reasons why they are currently sat in the top 2 in the championship, and rightly so makes it onto the bench of this team, and it's quite unlucky not to be making it into this starting 11. There are just a couple of players going forward who I think have had a slightly better month than he has. But they are some of the players who are going to get honourable mentions. But now, guys, we will move on into my starting 11. So for a formation that I've gone with for this, it's sort of like a 3-5-2 formation. I've tried to get as many players in there who I think deserve a place in this starting 11, because so far in the championship we have had a lot of players who have really gone on to impress me. So we are having to leave quite a few players out. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into my team. So we'll start out in goal, and realistically it has to be Darren Randolph from Middlesbrough. So far Middlesbrough have only gone ahead and conceded 2 goals in the championship season. He's kept 4 clean sheets in August, and that just goes unrivaled in the championship, really. He's had some big performances and had to pop up with some big saves for more Middlesbrough so far, and I think that for their defensive record, we've got to put some Middlesbrough players into this team, and Darren Randolph certainly deserves a place in this team, only going ahead and conceding 2 goals against Millwall, and after that they have been incredibly hard to go ahead and break down. So Darren Randolph is going to be the first player coming into my team of the month. And then coming in as our first defender into the team, we are going to have Powell Olkowski of Bolton Wanderers. So far this season, Bolton have started fantastically. Obviously, they have already gone ahead and picked up double points, and defensively they have had to be very resilient in some of the games they played so far. And there are a couple of players from Bolton who I could have included into this team, but the player who's most impressed me so far has probably been Olkowski, a new signing coming in from the Bundesliga this season. And if you look at his individual performances on WhoScored.com, he's picked up an average rating of 7.25, which is very good for a defender. He reads the game very well, and going forward he also offers a threat as well, playing as a right back, making good overlapping runs. In his game against Bristol City, he managed to go ahead and pick up an assist, and in the game after that against Birmingham, he was the man of the match in that game. Coming in next to him, we are then going to have Aiden Flint of Middlesbrough. It's obvious we had to have some Middlesbrough players in this team as they have started the season so well, and realistically I could have picked any of the Middlesbrough defenders so far because they have all been excellent. George Friend been excellent so far, Ryan Shotton's been brilliant, but I decided to go for Aiden Flint. Obviously we were talking about it when we were mentioning Darren Randolph only going ahead and conceding 2 goals so far, and the main reason for that has been their defensive stability and the players at the back who have just seemed to click under this Tony Pulis system. If we look at Aiden Flint as well, already popping up with a goal against Sheffield United, he's going to be an absolute menace this season. Being a 6'6" defender in a Tony Pulis side from set pieces, he's going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with this season. But he has very much impressed me with his defensive capabilities so far. A couple, things were said while he was at Bristol City that he could be a little bit slack defensively sometimes. We're not really seeing that with his time at Middlesbrough so far. I think he's been very solid for them, and rightly so makes it into my team of the month. Coming in as our final defender into this team, we are going to have Luke Ayling from Leeds United. So far, Leeds have also had a very good defensive record in the Championship, and I think that one thing that we saw in midweek when Leeds went ahead and lost to Preston was they were missing the width from their 2 fullbacks. Barry Douglas and Luke Ayling so far this season have been absolutely fantastic, not only with their defensive capabilities, but driving the team football with that one-touch football. They're both very capable on the ball, and I could have included either of them into this team, but Luke Ayling so far been the player who's really gone on to impress me. Last season got very unlucky with an injury, but under Marcelo Bielsa, I think we are going to see a fantastic player in Luke Ayling this season, and he's already gone ahead and shown that with the performances he's been able to put in August. Now we will move on into the midfield of my team of the month, and the first player coming in, we are going to have another Leeds United player. It is going to be Pablo Hernandez. What a start to the season this guy has had. I think that Pablo Hernandez, with the technical ability he has, he's going to be a player who is going to thrive under Marcelo Bielsa, and we're already seeing that in full effect so far this season. He's already on the head and popped up with 3 goals and 2 assists in the games he's played so far in August. If we look at those games, he scored a goal against Stoke City, also picked up the man of the match in that game. His next game against Derby County popped up with 2 assists, and then in the following games popped up with a goal against Swansea and Norwich City as well. He's been fantastic, mostly playing his football on the right hand side so far for Leeds United. Likes to cut inside onto his left foot. That goal he scored against Norwich City was absolutely fantastic, cutting inside and then bending it into that bottom corner. Pablo Hernandez has been absolutely fantastic for Leeds United so far, and if he stays fit for a whole season, we could see him getting into double figures for both goals and assists. Then coming in as our next midfielder, we are going to have Nick Powell of Wigan Athletic. He has absolutely set the Championship alight so far, already going ahead and being involved in 6 goals in just 5 appearances in this Championship season. Going ahead and scoring 3 and assisting 3 so far, Nick Powell has been the main creative source for Wigan Athletic going forward. One thing that a lot of people were saying about Wigan when they made the step up back up to the Championship was they may struggle for goals this season. That was the case when they were last in the Championship. But Nick Powell has gone ahead and made sure that that won't be the case this season. Already Wigan have gone ahead and scored 10 goals with Nick Powell being involved in 6 of them. And he's a player who over his career has struggled with injuries, so if he does manage to stay fit for this whole Championship season, we really could see him light it up. Coming in next to Nick Powell, we are then going to have Click from Leeds United. Once again, another Leeds player. Under this Marcelo Bielsa system, the central midfielders have to be very comfortable on the ball, and Click is someone who so far has really made the step up this season. Last season he was a bit hit or miss, but this season he has been very consistent in the month of August. Already going ahead and scoring 3 goals and picking up 1 assist as well. Some of those goals being very nice as well. With his energy off the ball, he's been able to press the opponents very well, and then when he is on the ball, the technical ability he's got is able to go ahead and push Leeds United up the pitch, and so far he's really gone to impress me. Then on the left hand side of this midfield, we are going to have Onel Hernandez of Norwich City. So far Norwich haven't really had the best start to the season, I think that's fair to say, although they did go ahead and pick up a 3-1 away victory at Cardiff City in the EFL Cup last night. But Onel Hernandez has been the shining light in this Norwich side so far. When they did lose both James Maddison and Josh Murphy in the latest transfer window, a lot of people suggested that Norwich may struggle for goals this season, but that's not been the case. It's been defensively where they've been awful so far, but going forward they've actually looked quite good. Onel Hernandez is someone who has blistering pace going forward, a really good touch on him, and fantastic close control to go ahead and weave in and out of opponents. We saw that on the opening day of the season as he was able to score 2 goals against Birmingham, and since then he's also gone on to go ahead and pick up 3 assists for Norwich so far. So his goal return and assist has been very good so far, already been involved in 5 goals in the Championship, and Onel Hernandez makes it in as the left mid into this team. But now we will move on into the attackers of this team, and coming up first of all, we are going to have him in there. It is of course going to be Weimann of Bristol City. What a start to the season this guy's had so far. When he was at Derby County, I always got the impression with Weimann that he was quite a hard-working player, but his final product wasn't really there. He was quite an inconsistent player at Derby County, but Lee Johnson and Bristol City just have a knack of getting the best out of their attacking options, and so far he's been absolutely superb. In the 5 games he's played so far, already popping up with 5 goals for Bristol City, and if Bristol City are going to challenge this season for the top 6, their forward options are going to have to be on form this season, and so far he has been their main man. Obviously they have missed Jeju so far this season with him being suspended for the first 6 games of the season, but Weimann has ensured that Jeju won't be missed, and the goals so far have been flowing for Bristol City. He's also gone ahead and picked up 2 Man of the Match awards in his 5 games so far in the Championship, and overall his all-round play has been absolutely fantastic, linking up with the other players in and around him. He fits into this system really well. Then coming in as our next forward into my team of the month, we are going to have Neil Maupay from Brentford. What a start to the season this guy has had. I know that he did pick up a suspension against Aston Villa, which has meant that he will now miss the next 3 games of the season. Already served 1 game of that ban, but in the 4 games he's played so far for Brentford, he's scored 5 goals and picked up 3 assists so far. Neil Maupay has just looked like a player possessed so far. Last season for Brentford, one thing that you could, talk about with them was they created a hell of a lot of chances per game, but they were very wasteful with them. This season that's not been the case, and Neil Maupay has been someone who's really gone ahead and sharpened up his finishing in front of goal. His awareness with the players in and around him has been absolutely fantastic, and that killer instinct is just there with Maupay this season. Brentford started the season with their 5-1 win over Rotherham United, and in that game he managed to go ahead and score 2 goals and pick up 1 assist as well, and since then he's just carried on that form. His last game against Aston Villa, where he was able to score 2 goals in that game. Yes, he did pick up a suspension from that game as well for a stamp, rightly so. He has now been ruled out for the next few games for Brentford, as Brentford will go on to miss him. They've already lost the first game they played without him, but Neil Maupay so far and Brentford have looked very dangerous going forward. And then to go ahead and finish the team off, we are going to have Kemar Roofe of Leeds United. It had to be Roofe really. The transformation we've seen from Roofe so far this season has been absolutely staggering under Bielsa at Leeds United. Last season he was mainly used as an impact player, either coming on as a striker or on the wing a lot of the times. Wasn't really in the game so much and didn't really look very confident, but something has just happened to Roofe over the summer and he has been absolutely transformed with the player he now is. Already going ahead and scoring 4 goals and picking up 2 assists in this Championship season so far. Some of the goals as well been very good technical goals. My favourite so far was his 2nd goal against Derby County, where he had a lot of Derby defenders in and around him, managed to weave in and out of a couple of them and then fire it into the roof of the net past Scott Carson. So far he's been absolutely terrific, a match winner for Leeds United, and more than deserves a place in the team of the month in my opinion. So guys, as you can see on screen now, that is my Championship August team of the month. Do you guys agree with my selections? Let me know in the comments down below. Well guys, I will now go ahead and wrap up this video, so if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. Also, would you like to see this become a regular monthly series on the channel? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below. But guys, I will now wrap it up for this video, so if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. Also go ahead and drop a subscription if you would like to see more Championship content. But that will be it for this video guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.